On today's show, I'm going to talk about what it would be like if the office were in space. We've got a special guest host today that says Pryor and Chasm are coming for you. And Patrick says the Hulk wants to smash your brains and maybe eat them too. Welcome to your favorite live streaming, whatnotting podcast, Comics and Collectibles in the Crawl Space. As usual, I'll be your host, Kevin. And also, as usual, I have the amazing Patrick with me. You want to say hey, Pat?
Hey, everybody.
And then lastly, not as usual, we have another amazing young man. You want to say hey, Ty?
Hey, what's up?
Sweet, hey.
I like that new intro with that rockin' new music there. Slightly
Thank
tweaked.
you. I was looking for some feedback on that. Okay, first thing, rockin' music. Got it.
I wasn't. I was like looking at my notes and I wasn't even paying attention. Then I heard the slightly different music and I had to start paying attention.
Did you watch it, Ty?
Yeah.
Pretty cool, right?
It is.
Thanks. I worked hard on that. Man, it's so hard. It's so hard to get things just right. It gets to a point to where I just have to be like, okay, that's good enough. I'm just not I have no formal training. So, I can only deal with what I got,
Yeah.
But we've got Tyler with us today because Mike is on vacation and, so that means we don't have no cover combat installment today. Sad face, but you have another week to get your votes in. So that could be good for other people. And then, we are still going to do the pick 3 though, because Tyler is going to fill in, for Mike on that. Oh, look, we got a little message there, Ty.
Hi, Grammy.
Hey, Mom. And we'll try to do our best without Mike, but it'll be tough. And then next week, we're going to skip entirely partially because Mike still isn't going to be with us, but also because we want to do a week off every month probably or so anyway. And then lastly, it's the Super Bowl. So in the Super Bowl next week, right, Ty?
Yeah.
So we don't want to compete with that. Everybody's going to be Super Bowl partying up. They don't want to get their comic fix then, right?
Probably right.
All right. So then for the people that are the biggest fans of what Kevin watched, they don't have to wait though, because we're going to go right into that on this one. Is that okay with you, Tyler?
Mm-hmm.
Are you doing your homework while we're doing this?
No.
Yeah. All right, Pat, could you tell anything with that one?
Oh my gosh, I wasn't paying attention again. I'm sorry.
Oh, that's okay. It was a sound thing that time. There was no visual change.
Okay.
But since I was making all these other changes, I went in and I just basically re-uploaded with a lower volume on everything. So hopefully that'll help. So give me feedback on that as well.
Okay.
But so I want to start this week like I did last week, where I talked about I wanted to have a little segment before my geek culture related shows of what I watched that's not geek culture. And this week I watched You People, which is a brand spanking new movie on Netflix. And it has Eddie Murphy Man, I'm drawing a blank on him. Damn it. Tyler, you know that one?
Mm-mm.
Have you seen that at all, Pat?
No.
It's the heavyset kid from 21 Jump Street and 23 Jump Street.
I'm blanking on his name too.
You guys know who I'm talking about, though, right?
Jonah Hill.
Yeah, Jonah Hill. That's it. Yeah. So it's got Eddie Murphy and Jonah Hill in it as the two main actors in it, and it actually was kind of I almost just included it in geek culture related segment of the show because a big chunk of the movie is about Jonah Hill has a podcast with his best friend that's this female, and basically they talk about hip hop culture, and so that kind of podcast related. But then I was like, no, it's not really. But I think it's it's kind of a comedy, but it's a little bit of a drama. It deals with race relations. That's kind of the big gist of it. Jonah falls in love with a black lady, and they're going to get married. So then it's kind of meet the parents, where Jonah has to kind of meet her parents, which is Eddie Murphy, and the other lady, I can't remember her name either. Sorry. And then she has to meet his parents, which he's Jewish, and her parents are really practicing, Jew. And it's actually got Mulder from X-Files is his dad, and Elaine from Seinfeld is his mom. So it's pretty funny. I don't really get into a lot of race-related humor at all, so it really wasn't my bag. I checked it out because a friend of mine recommended it to me, said it was really funny, which he's right. It has a lot of funny parts in it, but it does get a little bit heavy. I don't like things to get heavy in my comedies, so overall it's a good movie if that's the kind of thing you like, but I just didn't care for it, that much personally. And that's all I watched that wasn't. I actually watched a couple murder mysteries with my wife too, but I can't remember the names of them. So to get into the geek related stuff, got a good sci-fi movie here. I have no idea how this one popped up on my radar, but it is called Oxygen, and this is I watched this on Netflix, and it's actually it's a French movie from 2021, and the actress that's in this, I got her name here. I actually took a couple notes.
Melanie Laurent.
That's it.
She's
yeah.
right
What do you? How do you? Oh
She's
yeah.
right at the top of the
It's on
poster.
the poster. I'm looking at my phone while it's on the poster. I was going to ask you, have you ever heard of her?
No, I don't think so.
She was actually in Inglourious Bastards and Six Underground, which was a fairly recent Netflix original. And then Now You See Me, those old, not old, I mean, it's 2013, magic movies or whatever, so she's in a few things, and she's literally the only person in this movie because basically what happens is she wakes up in a cryogenic sleep chamber, like in typical sci-fi movies where if you're going to, well, I shouldn't say typical, it's either one way or the other with sci-fi movies. You're going to travel long distances, you either have light speed, and if you don't have light speed, you have to go into sleep so you don't age while during the trip, right? So she's in one of these cryogenic sleep chambers, and something happens that we don't know exactly at first, that she is awakened, which that's actually been done in a few movies I've seen in the past as well, where people are prematurely awoke, in the midst of a long trip. And then it's like, what do we do now? But in this one, she's in this cryogenic chamber that she can't get out of alone. And then lastly, too, the oxygen is leaking. So she only has 90 minutes of oxygen. So it gives us this very interesting, and it is compelling. I stayed with it for the entire movie. mystery that starts off with her waking up not knowing what's going on. Oh, she lost her memory too, so she can't remember anything. So she wakes up, she doesn't know who she is or why she's there, but she has a computer that talks to her. So I mean, there technically is other actors and actresses in this, but it's all, we don't see anybody else but this lady. That's not actually true either. She has some flashbacks too. She has some flashbacks, but in general, this whole movie takes place in this cryogenics chamber that she's in, and we see her, So I apologize. There is some more as I'm thinking about it, as I'm talking. But anyway, this does a great job of being interesting with essentially nothing happening the entire movie. This reminds you of what was the ones where people get lost at sea and their boat takes off, and how they're going to survive there. And then what's that one where what's his name gets his hand caught in a rock, and the whole movie takes place with him in a crevice with his hand stuck in a rock, and that's a true story. It's that kind of thing where it's this one person in one dire situation with some reason that it needs to be resolved soon or else. And no, not the perfect storm, Karen. This is just where two scuba divers are left in the middle of the ocean and the boat leaves without them. They actually made 3 of them. I can't remember the name off the top of my head of that one. But anyway,
talking about.
You know what I'm talking about? Okay. This is good. I recommend this. I'm not actually going to give too many details other than what I've already said. But this, open water, that's it. But this is got twists and turns. Like I said, it really is amazing to me how this became so interesting with its limited, resources of being interesting. And the only thing I will say, the ending is not horrible. It's just frustrating to where I didn't like it. I didn't like the ending in general. I didn't like how it ended, but I wouldn't say it's a bad ending. Like it's a horrible ending. I just didn't like how it ended. But so check it out. Oxygen. Oh, and this is dubbed. Well, I watched it dubbed. Because like I said, it's a French film, and it actually does. It's not like distracting with how the dubbed is either. It's actually done well, in my opinion, in regards to that as well. So check out Oxygen. Then, and this has to do with my teaser and the title of the show, I watched a show that makes me think of The Office because it has so many actors in it that are from The Office. And it's called Avenue 5. Are either of you familiar with this?
I haven't heard of it.
No.
Oh my gosh. I am so happy I found that's obviously you can tell how this review is probably going to end. I'm so happy I found this. So this came out in 2021 and it has 2 seasons already. The second season obviously in 2020 ended in was released in 2022. And man, I'm hoping for more because this is a comedy. It's a sci-fi comedy. And basically it takes place in space on a spaceship that this takes place so far in the future. It's a cruise liner, like if you would take a cruise on the ocean, you can get on this spaceship and take a cruise. Kind of, it takes a lap around the sun and comes back. So, like I said, it's just like a cruise liner. So there's, hundreds and hundreds of people, thousands maybe, I don't know exactly the number, on this ship. And it becomes this sci-fi adventure. They're in space and they start having problems, and not only do they have to deal with the problems, but also they have to deal with the passengers as they deal with the just like if they'd have an issue at sea on a cruise, it's just like that, but it all takes place in space. And the lead in this is House. It's that Hugh Laurie, right?
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
And then Zach Woods, which is from The Office. He's the the lanky, geeky
Gabe.
kind of kid that worked for Kathy Bates. That actually she worked for the people that bought The Office.
Yeah.
And then it's got Josh Gad. Josh Gad. You know him? You know him, Pat?
Mm-hmm.
What's he from? I can't.
I think he's kind of most known for voicing Olaf in the Frozen movies.
Oh,
but he's been
right.
He's been in a lot of. He's like a musical theater type guy, and he does movies too. Yeah.
He's like a one of those background actors that's in everything, so you know him. But yeah, right, gotcha. But he's a main star in this one. It also has, and I may have oversold the Office thing, but it also has Kyle Bornheimer and Andy Buckley, which he's from The Office. He was the Dunder Mifflin CEO, that guy.
David Wallace.
Yeah, exactly. And then Ethan Phillips is in this. Man, there's literally Lucy Punch. I can't remember what I know her from too, but I know her from a lot of stuff.
Yeah.
But anyway, that's kind of what this show is. It's part of the charm for it to me. I mean, a couple standout actors, but then so many other actors that you know from so many things, and man, this is funny. This is probably the funniest new show I've caught in a while, and it's ridiculous, and it is not for kids, in my opinion, mostly because of the language, but this has a lot of great moments. I'm trying to think of which one I want to kind of give you one as a kind of example. Okay, I'll just tell you this. And this is first episode information. Like I said, there's 2 seasons, but this cruise liner is basically so self-sufficient and it's on autopilot that we come to find out that House and the entire rest of the crew of the ship don't actually know anything about spaceships or space flight. They're all a bunch of actors that have just been hired to portray the crew to be pleasant for the sake of the passengers, but they actually have no idea what they're doing. So that's a big thing in this. Every episode is House is not a captain of a cruise liner. He just plays one on TV, quote unquote funny. But he has to, but everybody keeps looking up to him like he's the cat, like he has to save them from all these miscellaneous problems they have. And he wants nothing to do it. He's just like, I'm an actor. I don't do this, So it's that's just kind of one kind of example as to what kind of carries through episode to episode. This is really good stuff. Avenue 5 on HBO Max. Yeah. Did I say I was on Netflix or no? No, I was talking about the other one. But 2 seasons, and I hope it comes out with more. I really give this a big recommend. Then I got to the 3rd episode of The Last of Us. Did you get a chance since you got the codes, Pat?
I did.
Did you watch all 3?
Yes.
Nice. How about you, Ty? What'd you say?
I'm loving it.
Did you watch all 3?
Yeah.
Okay. I'm loving it too. But regardless of what anyone thinks of, whatever the quote unquote controversial content of episode 3 is, I'm just wondering why there's a love story at all in the middle of my zombie apocalypse, fungal zombie action adventure movie show, game, whatever it is. That's like this it didn't make any sense to me. Like, even if they needed to set up this couple that they meet to have, later in the episode, spoiler alert, I guess I should put that up, right?
Mm-hmm.
So anybody wants to step away or mute me until I take that spoiler alert down. If you're just listening, you're not watching, but give me 5 minutes. But obviously at the end, they needed the weapons and the truck, right? So even if they needed to set up the fact that that's where they're going to get the weapons in the truck, they could have done it in like 10 minutes. This is like an hour plus episode, and 90% of it's this love story. Pat, what do you think?
I think it was important to the story. I think a lot of what happened between the two could be sort of overlaid on Joel's relationship with Ellie, just about going on and caring for somebody else. It was weird because I'll tell you I loved the first half of the first episode.
Okay.
Towards the second half of the first episode, I was like, oh my gosh, here we go. Walking Dead politics all over again.
Okay.
And I was kind of like put off and like, we have to go through all this. The second episode I thought was fairly good. And then, but I was irritated by Ellie. I didn't care for her at all.
Yeah,
that all changed for me in this episode. They made her a lot more human. I think it was a brilliant idea to have her read the letter, and then just the impact it had on Joel. And it was good too because it just wasn't some random cache of weapons in a vehicle. These are the guys that had been operating, they knew they had set up all the radio playlist thing. They talked about them in the first episode, so it kind of tied into that. I don't know. I thought maybe they spent a little too long, but I don't know. I thought it was a great episode. I think me and my wife probably was our favorite episode. I am glad. I am anxious to get back to because I assumed the whole gist of the series was going to be about Joel and Ellie, and that's kind of what I was looking forward to. I was hoping there wouldn't be a lot of that Walking Dead, different societies doing all this and all that and worrying about all that stuff. I was hoping for more just about them, but they obviously they have to go from one end of the coast to the other. So they needed something.
Right.
And I'm probably going on too. This isn't what Patrick watched. Go ahead.
No. Yeah, definitely. I wanted to hear the feedback, and I'm going to get to you in a second too, Ty. But just to chime in on or add on to what you just said is, I for the most part agree with everything you just said, and yeah, it was, and the actors did a great job. Like I said, the only thing that didn't make sense is how much, like you said. I guess that's where we kind of disagree. Is you said it went a little bit too long. I think it went way too long. I think they could have accomplished what we got with way less of the love story, kind of aspect of it, and that being said, even without it being way less, it's still, I know it was quality, but I was just, this isn't what I signed up for, so, but yeah, I agree with everything you said. And especially starting from the beginning too, I used the Walking Dead reference out of the gate. It really started to feel that way. Like you said, in the second half of the first episode, and I wasn't liking Ellie. I'm still kind of not liking Ellie that much. I haven't really kind of changed a lot on that for me. Then the other part is, again, I don't know anybody that's played this to talk to, but Lexi, watches the videos I told you, and she said there was nothing like that in the game. So then I was like, okay, that wasn't exactly true with the game there too, which doesn't bother me really because I didn't play the game. But
from what I read, it is in the game. Just they expounded on it quite a bit more.
Well, their relationship is in the game, but those two ended up hating each other. It wasn't a happy ending.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Was it in the first game or the second game? Do you know?
First.
Huh. I guess I can't rely on Lexi telling me what's in the game or not. I thought I could, but she's like, that wasn't in there. I'm like, okay. But like I said, I didn't really care anyway because I didn't know either way. But
yeah, obviously I didn't play it either. I'm pretty sure it's a PlayStation exclusive, but
right.
because it's a video game show and I heard the creator of the game is writing it, it made me want to, like, my own love for wanting a show or movie to be like its source. I researched how accurate it is because it is the game creator writing it. And yeah, he's changing up a lot of stuff. So, and then I had a whole conversation with Maddie about how that's so weird. Because usually it would be somebody else trying to put their ideas into it, but it's actually the creator making a different story, which I think is odd.
That is odd, but that's kind of like Kirkham with Walking Dead or Kirkman with he talked about how he changed the show so much from the comics all the time, right?
Yeah, I don't know how much choice he had a lot of the time, unfortunately.
Yeah, I guess, yeah. So, okay, so aside from what you just said, Ty, overall, what are you thinking of The Last of Us up to this point?
You guys both made points I agree with, but I think my biggest thing is I think it was a little bit much on the love story end. It could have been shorter. Definitely want some more of the two main character action and what they're gonna do. But overall, I think it's really good.
Yeah.
I also think
I'm sure we'll see as well, how important them telling that entire story for the whole episode will be later on.
Yeah, that could be. Yeah, okay.
I also liked how in that third episode they showed how capable Ellie is. How smart she is, like how she saw before the typical Walking Dead thing is if they found that basement of that store, they would have just hopped down in without even thinking of it. She actually scoped it out, and immediately when she got down there, she set up how to get back out.
Yeah.
On Walking Dead, they would get down there, then they would scramble for how to get out. I think it was very smart, sort of endearing Ellie and showing that that she's capable. And like I said, the ending too made it. She softened a lot, Yeah. So did Joel. I think he's coming around too. Obviously.
Yeah. Yeah, it's definitely. I mean, and like I said, my opinion of Ellie hasn't changed that much, but I can kind of see where if they kind of keep going the direction they seem to be going, I could, But that's a pretty interesting take on her going down in that basement like that. My first thought when she did that is why not get him before she goes down there, But of course she's like a rebellious kid, she wants to do what she wants and she wanted to prove him wrong because he said there was nothing there or whatever, so I get it. But I was thinking, man, and I always think this with all these episodes anyway. If I was Joel, I'd be like, hey, do not, I want to get one of those leash harnesses like parents have with kids that want to run away sometimes. Let's just hook ourselves together all the time. We won't go anywhere without maybe give it 20 feet so we can always know, stuff like that. But everybody's all like, oh, you go there, I'll go here. It's not like we're at the end of the world right now, but anyway, they kind of need that, I guess, for the storytelling, of course. So, but I'm really liking it still too. And we'll see how it moves on. So, all right, that's all I had actually. So then my last part, did you watch anything new this week, Pat? It is officially what Pat watched time.
Yeah, we watched Wakanda Forever last night.
Oh, we just finished that this morning.
I meant to watch it yesterday before my wife asked. I totally had planned to watch it all day, and then my wife's like, hey, she's willing to play a board game with me. So I had to take that opportunity because I can watch Wakanda Forever anytime. But the opportunity to play a board game with my wife only comes around occasionally. So, and I picked a board game that we played all night. So I didn't get to see it. So you want to give your take on it, Pat?
I thought it was great. I am surprised it didn't get as much talk, as I really didn't hear much about it when it came out.
Really?
Yeah. And I thought it was really well done. It was much longer than I expected. In fact, your mileage may vary because Valor checked out about halfway. He was done. He was bored.
Oh, he didn't like it at all?
He went to bed. He said there was just boring. There wasn't enough going on for him. I thought it was extremely emotional, which I wasn't expecting. But I loved Namor. I thought they logically adapted him into the Marvel universe of the MCU. There was a few things I don't like. I don't know if they can't use Atlantis because of Aquaman or what, but that's minor. He still was fairly true to the character, and I thought he was pretty cool.
Okay, that's good to hear. Ty?
I don't know much about Namor, so I'll just confirm what Patrick said there. But I thought it was okay. I enjoyed it. I think it was definitely slow in some parts, and the action was okay, but it was very emotional. Probably won't be something I watch again, but I'd still say it's a decent movie.
Okay. What'd Maddie think?
Same opinion.
What'd Chelsea think?
I think she really liked it too.
I don't have a huge love for any of the characters in it, but of course it's MCU, and other things can tie along. So it's something I feel like I had to watch, but it's nothing that
definitely.
I am particularly loved.
Well, that's awesome. I'll probably end up watching it today, actually. So we'll have one last review in 2 weeks. I'll tell Mike he needs to watch it, so then we can give one last double review. Did you watch anything else?
I don't think so.
Ty, did you watch anything?
I did, but I'd have to consult Maddie on what that was because my memory sucks. We definitely watched something else big this week.
So you just in general know that you watched something else big, but you have no clue what it was.
Yeah. Hold on, give me 2 seconds.
All right.
He's using a high-tech intercom to contact his other sources.
I'm an idiot because we just
What?
talked about it for the past 30 minutes. We watched
What?
The Last of Us.
Oh. Yeah, we covered that. All right, so yeah, that's it. That's it for me on what I watched, because literally with I don't have much because of Avenue 5. I binged. I was enjoying it so much I binged both seasons all week. So that's how much I liked it.
I'm liking Last of Us so much that it's going to be Sunday night at 9. We watch it every week.
Hold on a second, Ty. What'd you say?
I said I was liking Last of Us so much that I think I'll be looking forward to watching it every Sunday night.
Excuse me.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah.
Awesome. Oh, and you know what I did find, and I'm definitely going to watch this. It was actually, I was planning on watching 3 things yesterday. Wakanda Forever, that I found the Nicolas Cage movie. What's it called again?
Unbearable weight of massive talent.
Yeah. I found that, so I was going to watch that. And then I was going to finish Peripheral. But yeah, all that went to the wayside because of the Pandemic games. I'll review Pandemic real quick. Pandemic's a great game. Check it out if you haven't played it. And if I have my say, both of y'all are going to play with me at some point. All right. I want to add something else real quick here. It isn't what Kevin watched anymore, but this is a good opportunity to input this. Ty, did you lose something?
Oh, yeah.
Hey, Ty, I wanted to talk to you about this. We're trying to be professional here. When you get up and you're going to walk around and put your comics away, you should at least stop your camera or something. Anyway, Marvel Snap came out with the friendly battle mode this week. And this is one thing I was trying to say to you before the show, Ty. I'm glad I didn't actually, so I can talk about it now. I was talking about how much I love this game so much that I was trying to figure some way to make a tabletop version of it. They'll probably do that anyway. It's such a great idea, in my opinion. But now with this friendly mode, I was like, that's not even necessary. We could literally just sit at the table together and be sitting across from each other and
Yeah.
Why is tabletop needed anymore? I can literally just play it on my phone. Obviously, distance, which is great, but I think it'll actually be a lot of fun if we're literally standing there together playing each other too.
Yeah,
right?
I like how they incorporated it into that battle thing, so it's not just a one quick one and then you got to load back in.
Why don't you guys give a quick overview of how it works?
So there, each player has 10 points of life.
Well, hold on. Start with this. So you hit the mode select and go to friendly battle, and then if you hit that, it gives you a code.
Oh.
So then you need to send the code to whoever you want to battle, and then they have to enter that code in the battle mode on their app. So that's how it connects you to.
Yeah.
So anyway, then go on, Ty.
So yeah, each player has 10 points of life, and you obviously play the game like normal still, but instead of cubes for rank, the cubes on the table represent how much life you're going to take away from the opponent. So you can snap at the same, you snap to 4, the opponent also snaps, it goes to 8, but whoever wins, it takes that many points off their life, and you can still retreat to lose a little bit less life if you think you're going to lose. So it's pretty simple, but it works. It works very well. It's clever.
Yeah, does that make sense, Pat?
Yeah. How do your decks work?
You use the same deck the whole time, and then you pick it before you go into the match the way you connected, like Dad said.
Which was the frustrating part for me, which it's fine. I don't hate that aspect. It's pretty cool.
What?
That you can't change your deck in between matches. Because it lasts however many matches it takes to get the 10 cubes of life from them. So, but every match you use the same deck. You can't leave and then change your deck and come back.
Mm-hmm.
I didn't even try to do that, but I don't even know if it's possible that you can. I'd assume there obviously is, but I guess you just lose at that point, right, Ty?
What if you wanted to change your deck? Yeah, I think you'd be just leaving the game.
You would just lose. Okay. But yeah, so what happened is I think we played 5 matches.
Yeah.
And I crushed the first 2. Well, I think I crushed one of those 2, and then the other one was close, but I won still. And then Tyler ran the table on me pretty bad for the next. I think we played, like I said, 5. So he won 3 in a row. And the problem was my deck was nothing to stack up against. Like it'd be interesting if you could change the deck in the middle of matches because, he was playing his whole deck, huh?
I think it'd be a good element to be able to change. Because obviously it'd be like a game plan for both sides. You might pick something that would counter what I'm currently using, but if I know you're changing your deck, I'm obviously going to move mine. And
yeah, because I have a Zola counter deck, but I wasn't playing it. So
I'm excited. I want to play you again today because I have a deck that does something that I think you haven't seen yet.
Okay.
And because I can't pull it off in a public match because everybody counters it, but I don't think you know about it, so I want to be able to use it.
Okay. I can't wait to see it myself. But yeah, so I think what happened, Pat, the only reason I beat him in the first 2 matches because Ty said he didn't get his Zola. Do you know what Zola does?
Yeah.
He didn't pull those the first 2 matches, but as soon as he kept pulling them, I had nothing to stop him. He just
But he's got Juggernaut, which can move the card you play. So he's got a counter to my play. So the first 2 games I just couldn't draw mine, and then the last 3 games I drew my combo, but he couldn't draw his counter. So it's always
or if I had him, you had priority, so you were able to pull it off before I was able to do it anyway. Yeah,
right.
Yeah. But that's why this game is so great. No matter what happens, there's so many factors. It's so ridiculously unpredictable.
One thing I think about is priority on turns. It's random.
Mm-hmm.
I think they should make it not random. If you currently have the least amount of power on the board, you should reveal first, or vice versa. Something like that, because there's so many matches that I would have won 8 cubes, if I revealed first, because that's such a big factor in the game. So I think if there was a way to implement strategizing along the game to make sure you have priority, or if you want it second towards the end, I think it
I see
more
what you're saying. Oh, okay. So if you know what makes it one way or the other, you could actually revolve your gameplay around that factor as well. That's interesting.
Yeah, because there's been a million games that have been decided solely off who had priority first or second.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah,
and
definitely.
it randomly. It's not even a you go first and then you go first and then you go first. It's always random as to who goes first every round.
I wondered. Yeah, I didn't know that.
I looked for a pattern, but it's sometimes they'll reveal 3 times in a row, and then I'll reveal first once, and then they'll get it again for the rest of the game. It's always random.
Yep. But it definitely changes what I do. That's for sure. If I have
for sure. Sometimes I forget to pay attention to it because I'm so confident I'm going to win, and then I realize, oh crap, my Zola didn't come out first, so he destroyed my plan.
Right. My 2 strategies with Zola are not only Juggernaut, but also to put a shield on your biggest character, just so you can't destroy him. So.
Right.
So where you at with Snap, Pat?
Still enjoying it. I mean, I can tell just by the way you guys are talking that I'm nowhere on your level. It's sort of like the chess thing. I can't think that far in advance. But yeah, it's still fun. And a lot of times I think I'm gonna win. I'm like, how the heck did you guys do this? It's
Yeah. Yeah. Well, I definitely want to. I definitely want to play a game against you, and what I was thinking we could do, and this is something I mentioned that I think you actually brought it up first. You're like, I wonder how it's gonna regulate your power level.
Yeah.
And I was like, you just gotta. I'd assume you just probably have to do it yourself, which I think that's just what the idea is. Which I'm fine with that. Basically, I guess it would kind of work against you if I know what you've got. But if you want to tell me what you got, and then I could create a deck out of something you have too, or whatever,
Well, I tried to suck Maddie back into it, saying you should play this against me, and then obviously I'm farther along factor be like, well, we'll just use the same deck, and then whoever plays it better, whatever.
Right? Yeah, that's what I was thinking. Yeah, exactly.
Something like that.
Just a way to learn the things, because that's the thing. There's so many. Even the bad cards, and there's no such thing, basically. There's no bad cards. Obviously, there's cards that are better than others.
That's debatable.
What's a bad card?
Angel.
That's not a bad card. You know how many times Angel screwed me?
0 times.
Especially when, people have, Winter Soldier. They got Bucky, and it turns to Winter Soldier. And
well, to your point, every card could possibly win a game.
Yes.
But the power levels are so far apart between some cards. Angel is on the bad spectrum, but no card has an absolute 0 ability to win. But Angel's still a bad card. Okay,
I'm going to disagree with you. I love when Angel pops in. Angel pops in, Pat, in case you don't know. Angel pops in if any of your cards are destroyed on the board. If he's in your deck, he'll just fly in and land. It's pretty cool. It's a good, thematic thing for me.
It's a beginner card. Yeah.
Yeah. I don't have him in any of my decks, but
right.
And I guess that's the point, is you're obviously limited to 12 cards, and he's just, with everything I got now, he isn't in the top 12 for any deck. Man, I just got Magneto. Which was awesome. I was waiting for him forever. He's already won me a ton of games.
He can really ruin your plans.
Huh?
He can really spoil your plans.
Oh, yeah. It's like, I love a Kingpin Magneto turn 6 play. Love that.
Yeah, that is good.
Yeah.
I just finished Series 3.
Yeah, me too, actually. I finished it as well. Yep.
You have every Series 3 card?
Oh, no, I'm not Series 3. It's Season 3, right?
Yeah.
I just finished every single whatever in the season.
Mm-hmm.
And then the season's ending now. What's it called? What words am I looking for? Do you know?
It's like Savage Land. Wait, what do you mean? What words are you looking for? It is Season 3.
How it comes up with the
chapters?
Yeah, the chapters. Every single chapter. Yeah, okay.
Yeah.
So, but you've got every card in Series 3 now.
Yeah.
Okay. That's awesome.
How do you know that?
How do I know?
Yeah. Like,
I actually haven't looked at the full deck list of Series 3. and done a checklist or anything like that. But I, in my shop, no Series 3 cards pop up anymore.
Okay.
And when you finish Series 3, you know how you get like 100 collector's tokens from a reserve? When you finish Series 3 and you open collector's tokens, it'll give you 200 to 600. But only when you finish only once you obtained all the Series 3 cards, you'll get more collector's tokens for reserves. So that's my biggest clue. But I kind of knew Agatha was going to be my last unlock. Because she was actually, my first clue on it was Agatha was in my shop for like 5 refreshes in a row. So I had a feeling she was my last card, so I didn't want to waste 1,000 collector's tokens on it because I knew she would be my next Series 3 pull. And she was. And then I started getting more collector's tokens. So,
have you played her?
No.
Yeah, does she play smart? Does anybody know?
So.
Can't tell you. I have to experiment with it myself, but I've definitely seen people complain about dumb decisions she makes on
I think she makes stupid decisions.
Okay, I thought she would be like the opposite of Ego, because Ego definitely makes dumb. Ego literally put stuff where.
Yeah, Ego is literally programmed to pick a card from your hand that's playable and throw it in a random spot.
Yeah, it's horrible.
So it's random all the time. It doesn't. You just got to get lucky to win with Ego.
Yeah,
Ego hasn't popped up in as many of my games, but Agatha has been there probably a half a dozen times.
Oh yeah.
Ego is one of the 2 rarest locations.
Okay.
Because they all have higher or lower appearance rates. Like Ego and World Ship are like 2% appearance rate or something like that.
That makes sense. Yeah.
Yeah. Every time I see Ego though, to make it fun though, I'll snap.
Yeah. Online, like on Reddit, the community standard is to always snap when you see Ego. But yeah. I've played Ego like probably 6 or 7 times, and everybody always retreats.
Well, that's part of the reason I snap. 1, it's fun, you never know. And then 2, majority of people retreat, it seems. So you get 2 instead of 1, as long as that, it wasn't the first zone, of course.
Yeah, I saw a video of Ego came up for this player, and the opponent played a Black Widow. And then the location was, when you play a card here, add a copy to your hand. And he played the Widow's Bite on that location, so I put another one in his hand.
Yeah, that's kind of stupid stuff.
And Widow's Bite, Patrick, is you can't draw any cards when this card is in your hand.
So you get rid of it, yeah.
So Ego kept putting it back into his
All right, apparently we need to have a complete Marvel Snap episode.
Yeah.
Man, I could talk about it for a real long time. Yeah, and especially we get to playing some games and we can talk about the games. I watch a lot of Snap videos too, because obviously the game shorts is short, so the Snap videos are pretty short. Obviously they have the long ones out there analyzing deck builds and stuff too, but I like the video shorts that'll just show like an epic moment in a Snap game or whatever at the end. It's pretty fun. I like it.
Baron Mordo sucks.
Really? So he makes you draw a card and it gives it 6 power. That's what it is, right?
It sets the cost to 6.
Yeah, or not 6 power. Yeah, it sets the cost of 6.
Yeah.
That could be good.
Not really.
Why?
Because you play him on turn 2, right?
Yeah.
Or later.
Someone pulls out my Zabu and makes it a 6. I'm screwed.
Right, but there's still a high chance that that's a card that they'll play on turn 6, because turn 6 isn't exclusive to 6 cost cards. And I think it's a thing about more often than not, it helps your opponent because it helps them get through their deck. And then if the card you make them draw, they don't want to play in this game anyways. Or you could just make them draw a 5 or 6 cost card they're planning on playing turn 6 anyways, and they get more cards before that. So the statistics are, I've seen a lot of people arguing about this on Reddit, so I'm getting a lot of my information here.
You're making a lot of sense to me. I'm actually agreeing with you more than I was the Angel card.
Yeah, so it obviously could, like if I'm trying to pull off a Carnage early, it might screw me there, but at the same time, it's getting me through my deck faster because I drew an extra card, so I'm getting more later. You know, so but more often than not, the statistics are Baron Mordo helps your opponent.
Mm. Okay, I agree with that. Angel is better than Baron Mordo, at least. Got it.
And I always play on Taskmaster on turn 6 anyway, so that wouldn't even matter. And now I get one more card.
Right. Okay, so enough of Marvel Snap. Now we're going to move into where you get to shine, Tyler.
Okay.
Are you ready?
Yeah.
All right, here we go. All right. Let me do this first for you, Ty. I'm assuming when you weren't paying attention to the show, you were doing your homework to let us know about the artists on these covers this week, right?
Yep.
All right, here we go. What we got, Ty? On the screen.
All right, we got Hidden Empire. The artist is Rachel Rosenberg. We got The Flash, and that's Serge Acuna. Batman is Derek Chess. ASM is Scott Hanna. Storm is Sunny Go. I actually couldn't find the artist on Red Winter, or the cover artist. And the Darth Vader is Raza. That's it. No last name.
Right.
Red Goblin is John Bazaldua.
Okay.
Moon Girl is Rain Barado. And Daredevil is Marco Cicchetto.
Cicchetto. Yeah. I think the
Can't
L
read
is
my own
silent, right,
handwriting.
Pat?
It's Cicchetto, yeah. Well, I think a lot of those maybe you were picking up the inker. It doesn't matter. Like the Amazing Spider-Man.
Right.
The Amazing
There
Spider-Man.
were quite a few with like 4 cover artists. So I picked the top one.
Yeah, so like the Amazing Spider-Man, that's John Romita Jr. Just off the top of my head there that I can see. Scott Hanna's the inker.
Do you understand that, Ty?
Yeah.
Okay. So anyway, and then also too, to tell everyone, these are what Tyler just described as the 10 covers coming out this coming Wednesday, February 8th, 2023. And these are the 10 covers that the Xcellar group and our families voted on to pick our favorite 3 of the week. But these 10 covers were picked by Tyler. He did an awesome job picking 10 covers and filling in for Mike. And yeah, even though maybe some of those were wrong, Ty, good job on your research for the artist. All right, so I'm looking at the thing here, and I only got first and third. I don't have second in there.
Should be there.
Oh, there it is. It was way at the bottom still. I got it. All right, Tyler. So then basically, once you say who it is, what the winner is, I'll put it, or, start with third place, and I'll put it up as soon as you say it.
Okay. In third place, we have Daredevil.
Nice.
With 7 votes.
Nice. And that was the Cicchetto.
Mm-hmm.
Nice. Okay.
And then we have Amazing Spider-Man.
Nice.
With 7.
We know that's John Romita Jr. So these are the 2 that were tied, right?
Yes.
So the tiebreaker was picked by your lovely girlfriend, right?
No, there was a 3-way tie for second.
Oh, geez.
Yeah.
So before we get to number 1, we'll do number 1, and then you can tell us who it essentially should have been in the top 3 but didn't make it because Maddie kicked them.
Mm-hmm.
All right, what we got for number one?
Number one is Batman.
Nice. I could have predicted this.
And nobody picked all three.
Yeah, I didn't pick the Daredevil. I picked the Batman and the Amazing, right?
Where are you at here? Yeah.
What'd you pick, Pat?
I picked Daredevil, Amazing Spider-Man, and Storm. This Batman falls into the enough of the Batman on the gargoyle category. We never got sort of back around to that. I don't think I ever got to talk about that for my Batman Beyond cover for the last cover combat. It was Batman Beyond on a Joker gargoyle. And that was Dave Johnson was the cover artist because that's one of the things that he always gets on is, can everybody just stop putting Batman on a gargoyle? So he switched it up and put Batman on a Joker gargoyle.
Okay, I can't honestly say I remember that, but that sounds fun and clever.
I never thought about that, but definitely I've seen it a lot.
Yeah, I'm not over it. I still like it, and I guess basically it's not too much for me because I'm always like, yeah, it's
kind of like a Ghost Rider cover, riding the bike across the center, throwing his whip out, you know.
Yeah, exactly.
It's getting kind of up. It's almost to throne levels for me, you know.
Okay.
And what is this gargoyle made out of? Solid gold or what's going on there?
It's bronze.
I could say it's bronze. I thought of that too. Yeah. I think the Gotham underworld would be melting that thing down.
So what was the one that got kicked by Mads?
Red Goblin.
The Red Goblin. Yeah, I like that one a lot too. I think that's actually the third one I voted for, actually.
Yep.
Yeah,
I'm excited to get that this week.
Huh?
I'm excited to get that this week.
Yeah.
And I don't know where to start reading because I'm starting to do it more. And I read Dark Web, and but obviously throughout the book there's references, and there's multiple things that have happened in recent books like Venom and Amazing Spider-Man that I obviously missed, kind of like a spoiler for the future already. So I just need to start from the earliest point I started buying and then read up.
Yeah, that's the only advice I've got is that don't let it overwhelm you, because then if you jump in anywhere and just start reading, it'll eventually you'll be experiencing all those things that you wish you would have done before, but just in current continuity, obviously, and it won't take any time at all, you know. So. Yeah. But it's tough. And it was funny. Johnny mentioned how many ninjas you had in your books. Did you see that comment?
Yeah,
I didn't see that.
The Daredevil and Amazing Spider-Man is full of ninjas.
Yep.
And isn't there another one? Can't see them all individually, but yeah, there's a lot of ninjas and Daredevils in them. I thought there was one of the third ones had a ninja or something on it too. I guess not.
There's only one book that received no votes.
Let me guess. Red Winter.
Nope.
Flash.
Nope.
What? Which one?
Moon Girl.
Oh, really? I thought that cover was cool.
Yeah.
Obviously not cool enough to vote for it, though.
Yeah, I threw Red Winter in there. I liked it a lot, and I wanted to make sure I didn't just get, popular titles.
And talking about Snap again, I didn't care for Moon Girl or what is it, Red Dinosaur, that much at all.
Devil Dinosaur.
Devil Dinosaur. Until,
yeah, I never knew about him. Snap made me almost want to subscribe to that, but I
exactly
a little sneak peek, and I think sometimes if I'm thinking about buying a book, I'll look through a few pages, and I think it's a little kiddie. I think it's not my taste.
Yeah, I've got a few key issues of that, like first appearances and stuff, but I've never read one. But they're cool cards in Snap. But great job, Tyler. Really appreciate you filling in.
Good picks.
Not only being here, but making pick 3 happen in general.
Thanks for the responsibility, because it caused me to use this Dunder Mifflin book I've had sitting around for a year now and I haven't touched.
Nice. So, okay, good. Now you're practiced. So you can officially, naturally, in your natural habitat, fill in as the collectibles on the horizon for that, because that's what you're about. But now you can also fill in for pick 3.
Right.
So now all you need to do is learn how to run the show and work everything on StreamYard, so that when I'm not, and you need to watch a bunch of stuff, so when I'm not on the show, you can fill in for me. All right. But that brings us to the next amazing segment, comic book reviews. Is everybody ready for this?
Yes.
Yes.
All right, here we go. I wish I could just on the fly. I had the technology and the time and the knowledge, whatever, to like make a change like really fast to where you could be in that, Tyler, but you're not in there. But I'll go first. I'm continuing my journey of reading through Batman, the World. Again, if you didn't check us out last week, this is a one-shot hardcover. I don't know if there's been subsequent printings in softcover or not, but this is a one-shot hardcover, 14 short stories written by 14 writers and artists from around the world. And I think that's pretty interesting. I reviewed the first 7 last week, and I was planning on getting through the next 7, but alas, Avenue 5 was too good. So I only read 2. And the next 2 that I read, one takes place in Turkey. And this might, I think I've said this before about other things, and it's just because I'm not as read as I'd like to be. This might be a key issue regarding this story that takes place in Turkey. So Batman, as you can imagine, has to go to Turkey to solve this mysterious crime that took place in Gotham, that with his investigation, he was he tracked it back to culprits in Turkey, and without getting too deep in the weeds as to going through the whole story, this is where I'm bringing up the this might be a key issue thing. Have you ever heard of Dawn and Dusk, Patrick?
I think they make like automatic light timers that use that feature.
No.
Oh, okay. Then no.
They are these like twin ninja girls. They have like it seems almost like Flash abilities, or I can't tell. With the way the pictures were drawn, I couldn't really tell whether the artist was trying to portray speed or kind of agility, which and what they can do that's kind of special is it's kind of how you double jump in video games where you have to jump once and then you're in the air and you jump again, right? These girls can do stuff like that. Like they're in the air and without having anything else to utilize to do more moves, they can just kind of switch direction and do moves in the air, so I think that's their ability. But they were cool looking. They looked like ninjas. But I never heard of them, so I figured maybe this is the first appearance of Dawn and Dusk. They were kind of cool. I could see them if someone grabbed onto them and made them regular Bat villains. That'd be pretty interesting for me. And then also too, and I guess this is a little bit of a spoiler. It ends up the big enemy in this is the Court of Owls. But again, with this maybe being a key, I don't know. You tell me, Pat.
It seems like a lot of these stories, because they're using creators from, different parts of the world, they can introduce new characters. So there could be a lot of new characters they could potentially use in the future.
Yeah. But again, spoiler alert, this is this whole adventure's a ruse. There's nothing going on in Turkey. There is a court that the Court of the Owls has used in Turkey. They're called the Court of the Eagles. And they all wear eagle masks. And their job was just to get Batman to Turkey so the Court of the Owls could do what they want in Gotham. So it was pretty interesting. I think it was, I liked it. And then the next one took place in Poland. And again, all kinds of different culture things in this one that I don't know whether are true or not, but I'd like to know. So I'm gonna have to do my research on it, I guess. But it talks about a lot of statistics with Poland's crime. I guess like Poland for Warsaw, and Poland has like the lowest crime on the planet per capita or something like that. And Batman investigates how that can be. And he discovers this amazing crime fighter from Warsaw that she essentially, all she does is she uses technology to track crime to such an extent that she will report a crime is going to happen here and send the evidence to the police to where they essentially go there before it happens. And so it doesn't happen. Like she'll find out that these bad guys are going to rob this one bank here, and she tells the cops. So then the cops go to that bank. So then the cops don't have to do anything. It's them there that makes it not happen. So it's stuff like that it's pretty interesting. She uses this technology this way. So Batman goes to Warsaw to try to use, because he'd love to utilize it the way she uses it. So he wants to learn and essentially buy it. And he goes there as Bruce Wayne, obviously, and just tries to buy her company out or buy the technology or, merge or something. She wants nothing to do with it. She tells him no, flat out. She thinks Batman's horrible. He's the kind of polar opposite of her in mentality as far as fighting crime is concerned. She's trying to prevent it. She's not trying to fight it once it's here. And she thinks Batman provokes more crime by just being the way he is. And so she says, I want nothing to do with you. I want nothing to do with Gotham. Get out of my city. She is really rude about it too. She is not nice. And but then, spoiler alert, she is in the midst of foiling a crime. And guess what? Do you want to take a guess? Anybody? No? Okay. So not Batman. The bad guys find her. And they're just about to kill her, to stop her. But of course, guess who's there to save her life? Anybody? Class? Batman. Yes.
Batman. That guy.
He just so happens to, of course, this is when Bruce Wayne goes there to try to do this business deal with her. She wants nothing to do with it. But of course, that night, she gets found by the bad guys. Batman's still there. Or Bruce is still there. and he dons Batman to save her life. But then guess what happens?
He does.
Well, yeah, he saves her life, but then after that, she starts singing a different tune. She decides she wants to merge now. That it's not so bad to have Batman on your side. So it was pretty interesting again as well. I like both these stories a lot. And again, there's a lot of different cultural references, which love learning about all that stuff as well. And again, I need to research as to how legit all of them are. But if they're totally 100% true, obviously it'd be that much cooler to me. So, continuing my big recommend for this book. Enjoyed these 2 stories. Out of the first 9 stories now, there's only one that I didn't care for much. All the rest were really good, in my opinion. So, check it out. Batman the World. All right, Pat, you're up next. What you got?
All right. So this week I read the collected hardcover edition of Spider-Man Life Story.
Oh man, did you get this? Is this brand new? This just come out? The collected edition?
I'd say it probably came out during this last summer. It's
really?
probably 6 months old. Yeah.
I want to get this because I was getting them, but I missed a couple.
Okay.
So I was planning on getting those, but I didn't even. My mind never goes to collected editions like this, but this would be perfect for me on this one because, yeah, I was loving this. So anyway.
Yeah. So this collects Spider-Man Life Story by Chip Zdarsky and Mark Bagley. I always said Bagley, but I think it's actually Bagley. It collects issues 1 through 6, and then they put out an annual about 6 months to a year after the initial series was released. It's kind of funny because in between that time, they solicited this hardcover collection. I passed on the individual issues, ordered the hardcover. Then the annual came out, and I was like, oh, well, dang, I have to get the annual because it's not going to be in the collection. Well,
Right.
they ended up canceling the release of the hardcover, and that gave them enough time that they did put the annual in there. So everything's in there.
Oh,
and
cool.
now,
Okay, good.
Now I also have an extra copy of the annual. So I'm not going to go into too many spoilers. I'm just going to give a broad overview of this series because if you are the least bit interested, if you're a longtime Spider-Man reader, get this. It is very well done. And there's a lot of cool surprises that I don't want to spoil it. And I'm just going to give like an overview of what the breakdown of the issues it entails. But basically the whole premise behind this is, what if a writer tossed out Marvel time, whereas, they don't do the cheats, where Franklin Richards is still a little child. Everybody ages in real time here, starting from their origin point in the 60s. So, for example, here issue number 1 takes place in the 60s, where Spider-Man is just probably graduating and getting out of high school, and it deals a lot with Vietnam and if superheroes should have got themselves involved in Vietnam. It also deals with the Green Goblin. And as you'll see, there's many, because they're telling things in real time. There's a lot of twists and turns. That time sort of collapses in on itself, and things are more, sort of bunched up and overlapping, and it just makes for a very interesting experiment, I'd say. And I think they may have done other life stories. I'm not sure. I meant to go back, and they did.
Yeah, Fantastic Four, I know for sure.
Yeah, you'd think I'd have that one, but I don't. I may have to check that one out.
Yeah.
So issue 2 takes place in the 70s. That mainly deals with the Black Goblin, who was Harry Osborn, Norman's son. And it also deals with aspects of the original clone story from the 70s. The issue 3 is the 80s, which deals with Secret Wars, and that's pretty cool because basically, they're using, they're overlapping the Cold War with Russia with the timing of the Secret Wars, when the heroes and villains were stolen away for the Secret Wars. Russia took that as an opportunity to attack. They're sort of, they're using comic book history and real world history that happened at the time and sort of mashing it up, and then and just the story, it makes sense, and it plays out pretty neat.
Yeah.
The 80s also deals with Kraven's Last Hunt, when Kraven wanted to kill Spider-Man, and also because they were taken away for the Secret Wars, it also deals with the symbiote. All too interesting effect, I have to say.
There you go, Ty.
Yeah, I was gonna say, Tyler, even if you don't go way back, starting with the 80s, they're dealing with Venom and aspects of Venom, so it's pretty interesting.
Yeah, I mean, I love all things Spider-Man as well, so it'd be something I want to get.
The next issue is the 90s. That deals with the Clone Saga once again. When Ben Reilly started coming to the forefront, and he was Scarlet Spider and all that. But here it's all twisted up. It's Doc Ock, who at one point was a good guy. Now he's sort of reverting back to his evil ways, and also deals with the Green Goblin once again, who's released from prison. The aughts deal with the Civil War storyline and Moreland, who's a relatively new Spider-Man villain. And then issue 6 was the 2010s. And because of the Civil War going on with the heroes all fighting each other, Dr. Doom took that as an opportunity to sort of conquer the world, it seems. And this issue 10 is Spider-Man trying to, at the end of his career, you have to keep in mind he's been aging as the decades go by, so he's in his mid to late 60s at this point, and he's trying to make one last stand to try to thwart Dr. Doom's plans. And this also uses aspects from Dan Slott's Superior Spider-Man, where Doc Ock took over the body of Peter Parker. There's just like everything else in this series, there's a twist on that too. And the annual wraps it up. The annual is sort of neat because J. Jonah Jameson was sort of, I don't even know if he was really mentioned that much throughout the initial series, but this is all about him. It's focused exclusively on J. Jonah Jameson throughout the decades, and his impact on Spider-Man and Spider-Man's impact on him. But this is if you're a Spider-Man fan, it's a get it. I think you'll enjoy it. It's a unique twist on, what you think the only, and this is just a matter of taste. I know Mark Bagley isn't everybody's cup of tea. There's some really good stuff in here, but there's also some of the usual Mark Bagley wonkiness that if you don't care for him, it's probably gonna, you're probably gonna notice it, and you won't like it that much. But it's solid overall. I will say that.
Okay.
And I think it makes a nice collection because it isn't in continuity. It's just all self-contained, and makes for a really nice hardcover collection. So yeah, I think if they would have had a different artist on it, I say a different artist, but Mark Bagley is so tied to Spider-Man. He's drawn Spider-Man throughout so many decades in real time Marvel that he was probably a good choice for this.
Yeah, made sense. Okay.
Yeah, but maybe if a different artist that more to my taste would have drawn this series, it could have really pushed it up to a must-have. But it's definitely a get it for. I would say for anybody, they will find something to enjoy here.
Well, I got a couple questions for you.
Yeah.
Is that a slip cover?
It does have a dust jacket, yes.
And what's underneath the dust is the same picture?
It is not the same picture. I actually have it right here. Let me see. Why do you ask?
Because that's one thing that I feel has kind of dropped the ball on this cover here. I mean, oh yeah, let me hold on a second. Let me make you big here. Put that up again now. I'm sorry. Yeah, I actually like that one better. And that's what I was gonna say is, man, that was one thing I loved about the single issues was the covers, which that one goes a little bit more in line with those kind of covers.
Yeah.
So I feel like that Dust Jacket cover kind of drops the ball on that a little bit. I love. Are the covers inside? Do the covers show?
Yeah, they are.
Separate the stories in the book.
I think they're just in a gallery in the back.
Oh, okay.
And they show all the alternate covers, the variant covers.
Okay. Oh, that's cool too. Okay.
Yeah, that's always a bonus. That's kind of nice about when you get these nice hardcover collections, is they do usually have all the covers in the back. Yeah.
Yeah, I definitely want to track that down. Yeah.
Yeah, it's kind of hard to hold this up and open it and show you. But
right. Yeah.
Have some cool bonus features in the back too.
Nice.
The back's just a plain.
Gotcha.
Rubber webbing.
So, yeah, I think it kind of drops the ball on that. But then also too, the annual. Okay, so two questions with that. One, so the annual is just J. Jonah, and it's everything from the 60s to modern day, basically in one story.
Yeah, okay. It sort of picks from all the different eras. Yeah.
Okay. And then lastly, why is it an annual? It's a 6-issue limited series. You know what I'm saying?
What's the deal with annuals?
What?
What's the deal with annuals?
Well, they usually have an annual once a year.
Right. But like, what's the purpose of them?
It's just a separate kind of story. Yeah,
yeah, I'm not sure why they called it an annual. They just could have called it a one shot or a,
Yeah, that's what I thought was kind of silly about it. It's like
I didn't know if they had anything to do with the current run at the time, or if it was just like its own book randomly.
Yeah, so he said it's his own book. Yeah,
the 6 issues plus the annual they're all off on their own.
That's what makes it funny to me. It's like 6 issues and then an annual. It's only 6 issues. But anyway, that's just another goofy observation. But anyway, that's awesome though. I'm excited to read that. Like I think I read the first 2, and then something happened. Whatever, dropped off completely, and then I went to try to check them out again, and then I think I missed 3 and 4. So I need.
The Venom stuff in there is good. I think Venom fans would like it. There's not a lot. I will say that, but for what it is, I think it's an interesting twist, and I don't want to give away anything, but it pays off pretty well.
Gotcha. All right, awesome. All right, Ty, we're rolling with good book recommendations. What do you got?
I got Dark Web.
Where's your graphic?
Well, I don't know. Where is it? You should have known what I read.
That's all right. You got it there beside you?
No, it's in my box.
No.
I mean, I could grab it if you want me to.
Well, I was just going to make you big, and then you can show people.
All right.
Is this going to take long?
No.
Are you sure?
I'm organized. I know where my stuff is.
Oh, nice. Dark Web, number 1.
That's Kevin
Very
voted
nice.
for that cover, I think.
What'd you say? I'm sorry, Pat.
You voted for that cover, didn't you?
Yeah. You know the deal with the whole thing with me and Upside Down and covers, Ty? No.
Uh-uh.
All right, it's just kind of an inside thing, but anyway, you should watch every episode. It's a good show.
At least he subscribed, right?
I mean,
at least you're
I like
subscribed.
the upside downness because it's just it reflects them, but it's just good and bad on the bottom.
I know. Like I said, it's just a joke. Yeah. All right. So what's up with this book?
Ghost.
What's the gist of the dark web? I haven't read any of them. I haven't really done my research to know what's going on
The
with it.
Goblin Queen and Chasm are working together, and they're both pissed about how they've been treated as clones poorly. And I don't know what their main goal is, but they're basically going to get back at all the people that have done them wrong. And they made a deal with Venom to help them out because Madeline said that she can get Eddie's son back. And I haven't read where he went. That happened in Venom 13. And they're in limbo, like the location. And then, so Madeline's wreaking havoc on the city. Spider-Man gets involved, obviously, see what's going on. And he links up with the X-Men. And then Ben Reilly, which is Chasm, is having like some memory loss. Or he knows that his memories of Peter Parker have been stolen from like his portion of memories that belong to Peter Parker have been stolen, and then he's going after Norman Osborn once he starts to remember who he is from Peter Parker's side, and then he fights him as the Gold Goblin, which I think he's a clone too of Norman. It's kind of funky, you know. I'm kind of jumping into there's a lot of backstory in here that I don't know about, but that's pretty much the gist. Madeline Pryor and.
So the Gold Goblin is another Norman? I don't even know about the Gold Goblin yet.
I don't either. I haven't read it, and he just made his appearance recently in Amazing Spider-Man. A few issues.
No, I know, but you just said he fights him as Gold Goblin in this issue of Dark Web.
Yeah.
Who's he?
Who is who? Gold Goblin? It's Norman Osborn. I'm not sure if Norman is a clone or if it's.
As far as I know, he is not. If he is, it's a spoiler to me.
Harry's clone just died, so that's what I wasn't sure if Norman was real or not. But
gotcha. Okay.
But that's the gist. Is Madeline and Ben Reilly are mad and they're trying to get back at people, and Venom's helping them out. But Venom's only doing it because Madeline said she can get his son back.
But Chasm is fighting Gold Goblin, and the Goblin Queen is wreaking havoc in the city. What, fighting Spider-Man?
She's like releasing a bunch of monsters, and then Spider-Man came in briefly that something's going on.
Okay, and Venom's assisting in all this because he thinks he can get his son back if he helps Goblin Queen, basically.
Right.
Is this a crossover event, or is this its own little story?
I'm not sure.
It's a crossover.
Yeah, of course.
I read the first couple of Spider-Mans that started it. I think I might have to pick up. I might actually be missing what Tyler's reviewing right now. The two issues, and I didn't review those two issues of Spider-Man, but they were cool. It was Ed McGuinness was the artist on those two issues, and it was basically Spider-Man versus Venom. Some really cool artwork.
Yeah. Does that start it? Because I think Dark Web released first, and then all the other Dark Webs in all the series came out.
Yeah, it's possible.
I'm not sure.
I'm at the point where, Spider-Man or Venom is fighting Spider-Man, but Spider-Man's wonders why, and Venom kind of like leaves. He doesn't realize. They do mention the Dylan connection, but
I think that's after this because Venom just made he was hardly in it. He was just talking to Madeline for a few minutes, asking where his son is, and then at the end of the book, he said he's going to go after Spider-Man. So
okay, yeah.
Does anybody know how long this is supposed to last?
It's over, actually. Just ended. The finale just released last week. Or this week.
Oh, okay. So when did this come out?
Like 3 weeks ago, 4 weeks ago.
Okay, so it was real short, huh?
Yeah, it was pretty compact, I think.
Yeah, it was in a lot of different series, though. There's X-Men, Spider-Man, Venom, Black Cat, Mary Jane, Dark Web, and Gold Goblin had a Dark Web, I think.
Okay, so what we need to do then is once you read it all, come back and give us a review of the whole thing.
Yeah.
But what do you think of this one issue so far, though?
I recommend it. It's got good setup, and obviously a lot of exciting people in it.
Awesome.
Love some X-Men and Spider-Man and Venom.
Who was the writer and artist on that, Ty?
Zeb Wells, Adam Kubert, Frank Martin.
Yeah.
That sounds pretty. Is that the same team that's on ASM?
Zeb Wells is the writer, yeah. So, yeah, I'm kind of not sure why I didn't order that if I did miss it.
All right, good. Gotta love 3 get-its / must-haves.
Mm-hmm.
I'd say, yeah. I'm really leaning to Batman World being a must-have.
And basically, you know, with Chasm, the problem with him, you know, Tyler mentioned his memory loss. They took away the part of his memory that with the great power comes great responsibility. He doesn't have that anymore. So that's part of the reason he's sort of going off on a rampage.
Oh, he's got no moral foundation, basically.
He's lost that part of his memory, yeah.
Gotcha. All right,
It'll
awesome.
be a minute before I get through Dark Web because since I read Dark Web, there's a lot of snippets of previous issues, so I'm probably just going to start back at Venom #1 from last year.
Hey, however, I don't think there's a wrong way to do it.
Yeah. But at the same time, I just read this one, so I want to keep reading. Man.
Right, yeah, I know. It's tough. It's tough. So.
But now I know if I go back, I got this story to look forward to.
Yeah. All right, awesome. Thanks for filling in on that again, Tyler. Appreciate it.
Mm-hmm.
And
It's kind of I enjoy how they do that.
What?
Where there was a few moments in this book where it told you where one of the events that they're mentioning, it had a bullet point of like ASM Volume 1, like 400. So it's
I love when they do that. Absolutely, absolutely. Hey, I meant to tell you too, Pat. I when I was reviewing the all new Fantastic Four, and you were asking me because you thought it was a reprint of the old issues or whatever. Remember that?
Yeah.
I got the 3 issues that it references. I haven't read it yet. I got the 3 issues that it references in the book though. And actually, I didn't get them. In sorting my collection, I found out I had them. So, again, like Tyler just said, there's something that now I need to go read that and then get back into reading the all new Fantastic Four. Because I think my review on that was to forget it because I wasn't tracking, with a tentative forget it with maybe if you know about the old ones, you might enjoy this, that kind of thing. So, but anyway, awesome. 3 get-its. So get out there and get them. And now you are up again, Pat. Are you ready?
I'm ready.
Adjusted volume on that one too.
Sounds good.
Our millions of fans, you're welcome.
All right. We kind of left off last week on Funko Pops, so we're going to start this week with Funko Pops. We have What We Do in the Shadows Pops have been announced, and they are coming out individually and also as you see here as a 5-pack exclusive to Walmart and glow-in-the-dark form. Anybody else watch this show?
Yeah, that's what I was just going to say. I don't even know what We Do in the Shadows is.
I've watched all of that. It's hilarious. You'd love it.
Yes, it's
actually
awesome.
Would Dad love it? I don't know. I don't know if it's your humor, but I think it's hilarious.
Okay.
Yeah, my wife and I are big huge fans of this show. It's and the movie, the original movie too. If you haven't seen that, Ty, check that out too.
I have. I watched the show and the movie.
Okay.
What's it on? Where can I watch it?
It's an FX show.
Ah,
I don't know where it's.
Oh, geez, yeah, I can't remember where I watched
Hulu?
it. It was a while ago.
I think it's on Hulu.
okay. Yeah, I have to check it out.
I think you're right.
Um,
It's just it's a comedy about vampires living in the modern day.
Is there any big actresses in it that you know? I know.
Not really.
there's an Office connection if you want to go that route.
Oh yeah.
The bald-headed gentleman up there.
Oh, that's Creed.
No, it's not Creed. That'd be interesting if it was, though.
Oh, it's a small character from Office, right?
He's a warehouse worker, yeah.
Oh, yeah. Okay. I remember that guy. I'm gonna want these as soon as I see this show. That's for sure.
Yeah, I definitely want a couple of them.
So a lot of Hasbro announcements this week. We'll do some GI Joe first. Snow Job. We'll go through these quick because I got a lot of pictures to get through here. So
Nice.
I think he's pretty cool looking. A lot of cool accessories.
Yeah.
He has got a cool head sculpt. Then we have a 2-pack of the Steel Core, which I'm not even familiar with. Looks like sort of like an army builder type situation where you could get multiples. They have multiple heads, so you could end up with potentially 4 different figures there if you bought enough. Over to the Cobra side, we have Scrap Iron, and we have a Tele Viper, also with 3 different heads there, so you could really go crazy if you wanted to army build. And then there was a Star Wars fan stream, so I'm glad Tyler's here if he is still here. There's a lot of stuff I'm sure he's probably already seen, but he could jump in and comment with any of this stuff.
I'm here. I'm just eating, so that's why I'm turning my camera off.
Good job.
Yeah, good idea. Remember to mute when you have that urge to belch too.
Yeah.
My bad.
But yeah, he might have some input on some of this stuff. And it's sort of just all over the place. I'm trying to not really any rhyme or reason here, but it's the 20th anniversary of Clone Wars this year. This is the Clone Commander Jesse figure. He's a Walmart exclusive. There he is out of the box.
Nice.
I don't know if you heard, Pat, but thank God after this figure, they're not doing exclusives anymore.
I did not hear that. I heard a thing about pre-orders. There's no more pre-orders anymore, which is weird.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I think you're right on that. I think my memory messed me up. There's no more pre-orders.
Hold on.
And it just so happens that he is the last figure that you can pre-order.
Right.
I don't know. It's crazy.
Of just Black Series, or of all the Black Series?
Yeah, Black Series.
Know.
I don't know about anything else.
Yeah. I should also say that this is coming on the heels, a little bit of a news item, that Hasbro laid off 15% of their worldwide workforce this week.
Wow.
They blamed it on poor holiday sales of toys.
Mean poor quality of toys and high prices.
Not being able to see what's in the box.
Yeah, I think that's the biggest mistake they've ever made.
Yeah, there's a multitude of reasons that could possibly play into that.
There's multiple sets of figures that were all, normal boxes with the plastic. And you see the figure, but then the last 1 or 2 figures in the set, like Republic Commandos, the last guy is just a paper box with you can't see the figure. Ruins collectors.
I could definitely see where that would be disappointing for people that keep things, mint in box.
Yeah.
Because that happened. 3 of the Republic Commandos are plastic windows, but the last one is just a paper picture.
Yeah. And that's an example of the all cardboard packaging right there. This is a Star Wars Celebration exclusive. This is a poster. Darth Vader. He sort of has that, sort of the red hue from the Revenge of the Jedi poster. There you can see him.
Huh. I hate that.
I surprisingly don't hate it. It's not something I would buy, but I think it kind of looks cool.
Hey, I think, I think the concept.
Why do you hate it?
Because I think the concept is cool, but by himself, without context, he just doesn't look good. You like it, Ty?
Yeah.
Huh.
They're kind of milking Darth Vader like they do Boba Fett, though.
Yeah.
I'm not a Vader fan anyway, so.
They keep releasing him in different colors, but it's the same figure.
Yeah.
Yeah. We have the Deluxe Rebel Commando, alternate heads.
Nice.
Alternate head. That's on the 40th anniversary of Return of the Jedi card. This is just plunked down in the middle. I almost didn't put I'm just not a big fan of role play items. This is a Scout Trooper helmet in the Deluxe Black Series format.
If I was ever going to role play, it would either be Boba Fett or this trooper.
Yeah.
Which the only reason I haven't role played is because the money. So I'd totally go in every convention as Boba Fett if I could afford a nice Boba Fett costume.
Let me ask you: would you do Boba Fett or would you create your own Mandalorian?
Well, I've actually, that's a whole nother thing. Is I would probably start out as Boba Fett, but I have Rakira Fett, which is, and I actually have a whole background and an actual sketch of the different ways that Rakira Fett looks different. I would love to do that too, but then that's a whole custom, I don't consider myself artistic enough to actually create that. I'd have to actually pay somebody else to customize that. But I'm the only way I could role play is if I just buy a good quality suit from somebody that has done it. So then I'd have to pay somebody to customize the Rakira Fett changes as well. But I've thought about all that. It's just, I guess I've gotten to this. I actually had thought I would eventually do it someday. I've been thinking that Rakira Fett's been around since I was in my 20s. So I always had aspirations. I guess probably in the last 10 years or so, I'm kind of like, okay, that ship has sailed, so probably won't happen. But
well, speaking of Mandalorians, this is something I don't like. I haven't sought out these at all. Are these faux prototype figures? Here we have Din Djarin Mandalorian figure. They've done a number of these. I just don't care for them. If you don't know, a lot of times, well, most times back in this era of the original Star Wars figures, when they're doing prototypes of figures, they don't care what color the plastic is that they make the prototypes out of. And you ended up with a mismatch of colors when they were doing production samples. And that's where these prototype ideas come from. And the way they, at least with the Boba Fett, I think he was the last one of these to be released. You could find them in any combination of, head, torso, arms, legs. So people would invariably collect every single version, left arm yellow, right arm yellow, on and on. It's just ridiculous in my eyes, but collect whatever you want. Yeah,
of course. But I totally agree with you. This is, not appealing to me whatsoever.
I think it's a great concept. I'm glad you explained that so I understand what the point is now. But I don't care either.
And this is sort of lending us into the vintage collection. So we got the Andor clone trooper.
Oh, there's clone troopers in Andor. I might
Apparently,
have to watch Andor now.
Do you remember seeing them, Kevin?
No, I don't remember seeing them.
And I think they called them the Phase 2.
Yeah, that's a totally different clone trooper. I've never even seen that. Yeah.
They obviously were on screen for some amount of time.
Well, you're just assuming that because of the picture.
Well, just because they don't usually do things without a purpose. The only purpose is to get more money out of people. And if he was on the screen for 10 seconds, 5 seconds, they're going to pump out an action figure of him. Is what I
I was
would
just
assume.
thinking. I was just thinking maybe it didn't make it off the or it made it onto the cutting room floor, that kind of thing. But who knows?
Yeah,
Yeah,
that's
because
possible too.
I'd be surprised if none of the three of us, because you watched all of Andor, right, Ty?
No, I watched like the first 3 episodes.
Oh, okay. But I'd still be surprised, me and you, Pat, watching all of it, that neither one of us noticed that there was a clone in there. So, I mean, it's obviously possible, but that's surprising. That's cool, though.
Yeah, it would be interesting to like revisit the scene. Where'd that take place?
Right.
Where they were escaping, and there's plenty of stormtroopers. It would be curious to see if there were, a few clone troopers sprinkled in.
Yeah, that's what else would be odd about it too, is why they're kind of around then, I guess,
Right.
But anyway.
Sticking with clone troopers, there is a 4-pack phase 2. That may be where I got the phase 2 from. Phase 2 clone trooper 4-pack. I'm assuming that's a Pulse exclusive. If you're an army builder, again, we're now on the vintage 3 3/4 inch scale. Clone trooper. Why do I just have that by himself? Do you know who he is? Anybody know who he is?
Hauser.
Okay. Admiral Piet. Darth Vader, new Darth Vader. These are on 40th anniversary. Return of the Jedi cards. Another Han being re-released.
Mm-hmm.
And then they didn't show him carded, but they had a Star Killer from the video games.
That might be one of the first vintage series I ever buy, because I wanted so bad to come to Black Series. Might convince me to buy this one.
That face is kind of shoddy, though. I don't know. I mean, that's obviously only one pick.
It's pretty good.
I'm
The
not
jaw might be a
overly.
little wide.
What'd you say?
I'm not overly familiar. Sorry.
Oh, sorry.
Sorry, that was my fault. I should have said, "What'd you say, Pat?" You didn't play the Force Unleashed games, Pat?
Just a little bit.
Okay.
It was right around the time Valor was born, so I didn't get much video game time. I have them, but I just never. He actually recently picked them up and started playing them, but I don't think he lasted too long. Kind of gave up on them, I think.
Man, they're so good. But yeah, anyway, that's cool though.
You beat them both?
No, I only beat number 1, and then I made it probably halfway through 2. I know. Yeah, I know. I need to get back to that.
Oh, dude.
And then any other comments on Star Wars, Ty? Did you remember seeing anything else, or do you have any comments further on that stuff?
No. I can only
All
think
right.
of the stuff I just waiting to release. It's been announced already that you probably covered.
Yeah.
Like Malik and Bastilla.
Yeah. And then so I teased it at the beginning. This was my tease for the show. This is our old friends over at XM Studios, where they have no regard for your wallet. This is the Venomized Hulk statue. Okay, this guy, there's a lot of pictures here, so I'll cycle through them. And there's 2 different versions. Version A is a maximum edition of $199, and he's going to cost you $1,661.
Oh my gosh.
Eventually we'll get to, there we go. I didn't have time to do the conversions on size and weight, but we do have a picture of him with an actual human coming up here. Some close-ups.
What say you, Ty?
It's cool.
That's awesome. If you had the money, would you get it?
I'm gonna say yes. But if I did have money for something like that, there'd be about 100 more statues I'd buy before it.
Man, that thing is awesome.
Okay, so
It's
now
definitely sick.
Yeah.
But I'm
as
not
we're
a
getting-
huge Hulk guy.
Yeah,
Right.
getting to the end of the version A. So what the version A is what you see here. Now the version B, which is coming up shortly here, you basically get a whole other half statue. Basically, it is the sort of like the in between where he's taking over Hulk, and it is a maximum edition of 299 units, and it is 1,888. So you're getting for by around $200 more. You're getting like an extra bust, because here's what you can do is you can display it's basically a swap out torso. So you'd have basically a statue and a bust.
That's pretty cool.
And I mean, there's not there, there he is standing beside a person.
Wow.
It's a big statue. Yeah, even though it's not much different,
Yeah.
it is different, and it's kind of cool, and it's kind of costly. So,
Oh my God, that is cool.
these are, I just like to show these because I think they're just sort of outrageous, and I'll never have them, but
Yeah.
they're pretty out of this world, and I don't know, just like to spotlight them.
Hey, well, I'm just going to assume with us having millions of people watching, somebody that's watching is going to be able to afford this. So they appreciate you letting them know it's out there.
Yeah, especially, our viewers in Singapore, where this originates from. I know we have a large portion of our viewership is overseas, and they wouldn't have to pay the exorbitant shipping fee. So, grab one of these and comment on the videos, or hit up the Facebook page and let us know how you like your Venomized Hulk statue from XM Studios.
Wow.
That's it for the Horizon this week.
Awesome. Great stuff. And that couldn't have been a more appropriate. That couldn't have been a more appropriate Horizon to have, like you said, with Tyler being a guest host. Pretty much all of that applied to him. So that's great. Yeah, man. With obviously Tyler being into the clones so much and all this clone stuff that coming out, yeah, it's so tough for me to resist that. Jeez. So good. And the way Tyler has his all displayed, all of the different ones, makes it great. Hey, how are you working on your Legion clones, Ty? Haven't moved on those at all? He's got, the game Legion, Pat?
I don't think I do.
So it's a Star Wars miniatures tabletop game.
Mm-hmm.
And you gotta, it's one of those, and I've talked about this before, that it's one of those games that they must target the people that love to build and paint. It's like the gameplay is equal or possibly even less important to the people that get Legion, because you have to build every piece and then paint it. Yeah. And Ty and Maddie got them, and they aspire to. You got all the clones, whole clone army, right, Ty?
Yeah, we bought the Clone Wars starter set, and then got a couple Clone Commander expansions. Yeah, Fives and Echo. We were doing a lot of painting, and we still like to do it. Especially, I do custom Black Series figures. And I was really excited about the board game. I thought we just had to paint them. But the building factor is what's pushing me back a little bit. But I'll still get there.
Yeah, it's like, it's a miniature that's this big to begin with, and then then it's like
Smaller than
50
that.
pieces.
So they're so tiny.
Well, whatever, they're tiny. They're tiny to begin with, and then it's in 50 even tinier pieces you got to put together. It's so nuts.
Yeah, I think General Grievous is literally like 25, 30 pieces, and they're a millimeter long each. So
They plastic.
yeah.
That's like like my Hellboy board game and like Marvel United. How do you have time to actually play the games if you want to paint all these miniatures?
Right. That's what I'm saying. There must be a huge market out there for people that dig the painting as much as the gaming, or like the painting more than the game. I don't know.
Yeah.
Speaking of United, are you going for the new Kickstarter, or are you satisfied with what you have?
Yeah, I've got so much that I haven't touched in a year already. Like I literally have everything up to when the multiverse is out. I got it all. So and I haven't touched in a year. Whether I not only painting it, which I aspire to do, but then of course playing it. So I'm not going to get any more. Although I did see, they just announced the Extreme Carnage United. And the only reason I'm considering getting that though is for Ty's sake, because
I've been following it a little bit because I didn't go in on the Kickstarter, but since then I picked up the game, although I haven't played it yet.
Yeah.
But I saw that there's a Galactus and his Heralds expansion, and the Fantastic Four set was exclusive to Kickstarter, so I don't have that, and I really like those figures. So I keep my eye on. I'm like, does it justify it? You get all those extra figures with the Kickstarter. It's like, but then I'd have to go clear up to. I want to get Galactus, and that's $100, and it's like, I don't know.
I know, right? And the weight's just killer too. Obviously, if you do that kind of thing regularly, you're used to it. But man, that was the first time I ever, participated in a Kickstarter, and it was like, it was so long later, I just figured I was never going to get it. Like must have been I'm screwed up. Remember I told you that story,
Yeah.
I mean, I eventually got it all, but the weight is just excruciating,
Wonder if it
because
would be better. I wonder if it'll be better, a better turnaround since they're they've already produced one series of it, and they're
maybe.
But still, it's always going to be probably at least a year and a half, the minimum,
But what's crazy too is then you see people with all this stuff already too. I mean,
Well, yeah, that I know that angered a lot of people. That's not fair.
Yeah.
What wasn't fair? What I missed?
People would get it before the Kickstarter backers would get theirs. It would be available at retail.
Yeah, to influencers and other stores and all this. Yeah. So it's frustrating. You know the United series, Ty?
No, but I do know of a huge Galactus. I don't know specifically what you're talking about, I guess.
Yeah, it's a tabletop game. Yeah.
Oh, then no.
And one of the new expansions is coming out is Extreme Carnage, so I'm gonna grab that, and you can check it out. It's kind of the miniatures are kind of, what would you kind of call them? Kind of fat caricatures.
Yeah, from when they're out of Japan, they call them super deformed characters. That's kind of what they look like. Sort of cartoony, bigger heads. Yeah.
Oh.
You looking it up?
Yeah. This is reminding me of something else I saw, but I don't think it's that same game.
Nah.
You guys remember the picture I showed you, that tabletop game of the symbiote attack? And it was like the characters are like little balls and you like shoot them at each other.
You showed me that?
Yeah.
I don't recall that.
Because I almost bought it because the set was specifically just mostly symbiotes. But you collect tons of different Marvel characters. I'll look it up.
Okay. Yeah, let me know. Because I don't have enough games. That's what, yesterday when Jesse was like, we're gonna play a game. I don't know what to play, so I just take her to the shed and like pick one. And then of course she just is overwhelmed by looking at it, and she goes, "Okay, you just pick one." And then I'm like, "Okay, fine, Pandemic." And then that's how I just randomly picked it. But looking through, if I have 100 games, excuse me, I played 40 of them. Seriously, it's so crazy. And then that's even more frustrating for my family because they're all like, "We only play each game once. We never go back and play it again." Huh, Ty?
Yeah.
I should do a random wheel like Mike does for the show. Yeah, I should, Karen. I should just make a wheel. Every time I get a game, put it on there. And every time I have opportunity to play, spin it and take it off once it's played until I get them all played. That's what I should do. And then I watch game show reviews all the time. I'd love to do that. Have to do what Kevin played sometimes. Oh, that's genius. Replace a what Kevin watched for a what Kevin played sometimes. I'd still probably end up talking about everything I watched anyway, too. So, but anyway, Pat, thank you so much. That was a great, once again, another awesome collectibles on the horizon. Great job. All right, and here we go. Another exciting change for our final segment. And we're going to call this the show recap. Pretty simple. You ready, Ty?
Yep.
Have you been taking notes?
Yes.
All right, good. Here we go. There you go. Feedback. How'd that look?
Good.
I can't figure a way to turn away from the camera and walk towards the table. They just got to kind of trickle into the table. But anyway. All right, Tyler, you're first. What do you want to recap?
The Last of Us is awesome.
Nice. Never underestimate finding awesome random, not only movies, but shows on some streaming device that you just haven't heard of, because there's just too much for everybody to get right out the gate.
Trying to
Clone
picture
Troopers were in the Ricks Road flashback to Cassian's father.
Oh, boy.
Okay. Well, I appreciate that, Mike. Just got a comment from Mike where the clone troopers were in Andor. Apparently the Ricks Road, flashback on Cassian's father. Okay. I'm going to definitely check that out. Thank you so much, Mike. Appreciate it. All right, what you got, Pat?
Angel is better than Baron Mordo.
Nice. Ty? You're up again. We're doing a circle here.
Dark World's a great comic. Dark Web.
Dark Web is a great comic. That is okay. That's what I was gonna say. I can't wait to get Spider-Man's life story and the annual that apparently came out after 6 months.
Yep. Gaming miniatures and cosplay are apparently a young man's game.
Yes. All right, Ty, it's already your turn again.
I'm brain farting.
If you ever wake up and find yourself in a cryogenic chamber, don't give up hope. It'll all work out.
Yeah, keep that in mind. Thanks for your work this week, Tyler, but you should really look into changing your name to Phil.
Phil?
Yeah. Because you fill in. Yeah.
Oh, yeah. Thanks. Needed a little
That's
bit
good.
of
That's good.
Need a little nudge there. Appreciate it. You got one more, Ty? What do you think? Nice job, Karen.
I
Nice.
just forget about the recap.
So do we. Don't worry.
Yeah. You're totally gonna screw up your fans' happiness by changing the look of boxes in the middle of action figure lines.
Yeah. I don't have anything else.
All right. Yeah, that'll do it for the recap. Our first show recap, technically. And that wasn't too bad. Appreciate it.
Don't forget to vote for Cover Combat 3.
Those claps do go a little long. Yeah, don't forget to vote for Cover Combat 3. We're not going to be here next week, so we're not going to be here next week, so you got 2 weeks, 2 more weeks to vote. All right, let's do some wrap up here. Nice. Appreciate that, Karen. Okay, here we go. Please like and comment on this video, as well as subscribe and hit that bell for notifications. We are so close to the Scruffles Gold giveaway. I can taste it. That we just get a few more. We're still giving away a lot of stuff. I'm not even going to get into the details. I said I wasn't going to for a while back. But we are so close to a big giveaway. We just get a few more people to subscribe. So please do so if you're watching this and you haven't done it already. Okay. We have a request in the comments that Tyler. All right, Tyler, say it. Do your best. Give it a good effort, too.
I'm Batman.
Nice. Good job. There you go. We like to please the fans. That's the #1 fan there. Okay, so anyway, like I said, please subscribe because we are so close to a big giveaway. And also, please subscribe to Comics and Collectibles in the Crawl Space on Anchor by Spotify or many other podcast providers. And please listen to the edited podcast of this live stream on Spotify. They'll be posted later today or tomorrow. Follow XcellarComics on Facebook, Instagram, and or Twitter. And follow Xcellar_comics on TikTok and whatnot. Watch our show on the Whatnot app on Fridays, 10:30 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. You can bookmark that show now. I actually had a good show this week, which the funniest part about it, well, every show's good in my opinion, but as far as sales, were pretty decent. The worst part about it is, sure, I'm going to have a good sale week without my shipping helper. Now I got to put all this stuff together and ship it on my own. I still notified Mike that I needed everything wrapped up for shipping. He's like, I can't do that. So I was like, okay, geez, I'm just following protocol, but I got to do it myself. So, but it was a good week and it was a fun show. So also check out what we have to offer on eBay at Xcellar_comics and XcellarComics.com. And then, like I said, we will not be doing a live stream next week. We'll come back the following week. That's going to be an exciting show because we will be revealing the first round of Cover Combat winners and then the second round, right? That's where we are, right, Pat?
Yep, that's right.
And then, of course, just having Mike back will be great. And Tyler, you can still come and be here as well. If it's 4 of us, more the merrier, right?
Yeah.
But you did a great job. We really appreciate you being here.
Thank you. It was fun.
All right. Anybody else got anything else?
That's it.
All right. Once again, thank you. And until next time, don't forget that appreciating great art is awesome and reading a great story is fun. So why not pick up a comic book and do both? Xcellar out.